Do you like movies and games also? Listen, so much more, they all know. Vice, Lotus and friends, welcome to Corrective Consciousness.
Welcome to Corrective Consciousness, episode 107, the podcast where we explore the inanity of pop culture. I am your host, vysethebold, and this is
Lotus Prince
and Dracologist.
And we got another great show here for you. Unfortunately, Lotus is here, so it's not it's not as good as it could be.
We got some juicy internet drama that's gonna get all the clicks.
All the clicks and the likes.
What does Vice think of Lotus? What does Lotus think of Vice? I don't know.
We will be talking about Billy Mitchell and Gamergate.
We're going to be talking about how much we hate each other, but we're not going to give you really enough information to work with. But you can only imagine what we'll say once the camera's turned off, and that'll get us all the views.
Lotus, you knew what you did.
We don't talk about that anymore.
Oh man, this reminds me of Sam and Max. So like, we're not going to the roof anymore. Not since the accident.
Yeah, my favorite
Exactly.
Cinemax joke that I can remember is just, hey Max, whatever happened to my noose collection? It's a surprise, and they just never go back to that.
Yeah, but this is the biggest joke. Like, not biggest joke. This is the average thing that in Sam and Max does.
Yeah. So this week, I wanted to explore some of the. This is kind of a wider discussion for me, but I think this is going to be a really enlightening discussion here. Enlightening discussion.
Yeah.
Here for
illuminating
television. For Lotus particularly and his fans. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what games would you love to LP or stream that would be unlikely due to circumstances. Now, this can be technical reasons, or the game is not well suited for it, even though you have a high interest for it, or is going to be an undertaking for one reason or another. I first want to start off by saying I have never done any LPs by myself. I've only ever done them with Lotus, and I really like doing them, but I am finding that I don't have the time for it for the most part. However, I do have a new job now, so I do think I will have the opportunity to every once in a while do some stuff on, a Saturday or Sunday, because I will have every weekend off.
But
I will also have every night off.
Remember that Vice and I hate each other, though, so never click on any of Vice's LPs. Don't do it. They're bad. They're going to be bad.
Except for the ones we do together, which are on your channel.
Oh, shit.
Those are brilliant.
The illusion's falling apart. I'm caught in my own web of lies.
In fact, we worked on an LP today.
At the time of this recording, so like the Sunday, but yes.
Which one?
Doki Doki. Like,
I can't wait.
Yeah, we mentioned Doki Doki in like February, and then we just stopped talking about it. That's because we hadn't been recording that whole time. Like, I got together with Vice 2 weeks ago. That was the first time since February we were able to record again. And then we recorded again today, parentheses, Sunday. So we're moving along again.
Did you guys manage to shoot through the GUI part of the...
Well, don't ask if we did X, because if we didn't, then it's a spoiler. All I'm saying is that the game is starting to show why it's weird and creepy, just a little bit, but we haven't gotten to the juicy stuff yet.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Maybe.
No.
So let's say yes, just for the sake of wrapping that topic up, because no spoilers.
Yeah. We don't want to know, and we don't want our audience to know either.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just curious.
But I do have a lot of fun. I mean, we've done Obobo's Big Adventure together.
That was your suggestion. I hadn't really thought about that game, and it ended up being great.
We loved doing that one. We did Snatcher, I think, is one of our fan favorites.
Yep, Police Knots.
And Police Knots, and we've done
I think from the fans themselves, one thing I've had multiple people tell me they repeatedly go back to is Barkley. Yeah.
Barkley was
even though our audio was bad on that, but that game was fucking hysterical.
Yeah,
it was the way we read it. It was the way we read it.
Actually, like, this is how I found Lotus.
Oh, for real? The Barkley Let's Play?
With Barkley, yes.
You jam
You
with
know
the
what?
rest.
I may even upload our Let's Plays to the Corrective Consciousness one just to re-release them. Just to get another
Get the
another viewing
stimulation going.
it back into people's feeds, that kind of thing.
And
But-
also the more recent Fucker in the Woods, like that had a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
very amusing, like, this is so bad I can't look away, like I can't stop watching, like, comments. It was amazing because that's like the intent of the game.
Slurps up.
Yeah, my favorite was Lazarul's comments, like, but in the end, who were the real monsters? Parentheses, Ryukaza and Hiroshi. Like, there's no fucking... Who else could it possibly be? Like, it's the people you play as. You're awful.
That game was.
That's the point.
I love that Lazarul made video versions of us for the title cards.
Yeah.
That was a
Stupid,
huge honor.
warped versions of our faces.
Yeah, I love that. There is a new Nekopara game out on Steam, so maybe he has some fresh material to work with here.
It was funny because at the top right of the screen, it said something, I think it was in Russian. We didn't know what it was. And I think someone had asked what it meant or like had known Russian or whatever. And Lazarul's like, I don't know. We just typed it into like a Google Translator and that's what we got. All right.
I was actually trying to translate it back, but it was absolute gibber.
Yeah, it's apparently like a semi-decent like internet translator job. So if there's anything that doesn't quite make sense, that would be why. It's like I assume this is correct.
So what I was getting at is that I fully plan on doing some LPs for the Corrective Consciousness channel here, but I will start with some short form games. I was actually thinking about just doing something simple as doing a run through the Mario games, for instance.
Well, I remember on a really old Corrective Consciousness episode, you had said that you had wanted to do
Contra was the big one.
That was a big one, but you would also mention Sonic 1.
Yeah, I would love to
the iOS superior version.
Yeah, and I may just wait until the Switch version comes out because it might just be as good and have a lot of those features. Mm-hmm. So, but you are right in saying that I do want to LP these things. So part of my nature is similar to you, Lotus, in that if I want to do something, I want to do it all, and I want to do it all in a specific order. So here's the thing about Mario Brothers. I immediately have to go to
you're gonna
boss
play
levels.
with Mario Brothers? Oh, fuck off! The Mario Lost Levels like isn't even fun. That was like Asshole Mario, except it was official.
Yeah,
I know. And
would it be awkward
go
then
for it.
Start with Donkey Kong?
Well,
no, he would start with Mario Brothers, I think, or was Donkey Kong the first one?
Donkey Kong is the first Mario game.
Okay.
So
Also,
it goes Donkey Kong, Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers.
Mario Brothers is the one with the power block, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, are you gonna do a Hotel Mario?
so
Mario
that
is
goes
missing.
That goes to show that maybe like playing games in a certain order in order to show a progression or like a design influence, it would be pretty cool. But so I would actually argue that Mario Brothers is its own thing, and Donkey Kong is a Donkey Kong game. So if I wanted to do a run through the Mario Donkey Kong games, I would do that. So I would do Donkey Kong, and then Donkey Kong Jr. Donkey Kong 3 is kind of its own thing, so I would do that separate.
What about that weird Donkey Kong like Junior like math game or whatever?
No, that's right out. I'm throwing that
canon.
out. Nope.
There was like also weird video games that showed me that there was a Donkey Kong game where you spray the ape in the butt with a...
Yeah, that's Donkey Kong 3.
Yeah.
Like, what's that? Bug spray, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, Stanley the Bugman. You play as. But what I would do after Donkey Kong Jr. is Donkey Kong 93 for the Game Boy, in that case.
Oh, okay.
I put some thought into it. And then the Mario versus Donkey Kong games would be that line of games. Like, that's what the
I was going to
be.
say, would Donkey Kong Country count?
So Donkey Kong Country is its own thing. So so I would say that the 3 Donkey Kong Country games and their respective land games would be their own thing.
I've actually been streaming the Donkey Kong Country games. Like I 100% did 1 and 2, and I'm
go.
working on 3 right now. It's a lot of fun.
Wow.
Oh, and by the way, remember how I said that the Super Nintendo and even the Super NT were like my bane for streaming because it took like an inordinate amount of time to render the footage for some reason?
Yeah.
Well, I eventually there was one time where I tried streaming and like my headphones just crapped out, and I don't like my headphones are fine. I'm using them right now. I think it was because like my computer didn't like putting all the effort into like the higher quality Elgato, which has like no lag. So I used my regular Elgato, which I use for regular Let's Playing, because it turned out that the people on the stream, like listening to the stream as I recorded, could not hear my TV's audio anyway. So I've been able to stream without headphones, which is freaking amazing. And I used my regular delayed Elgato because it doesn't like I wanted originally to use the no delay version because I was listening to the game's audio through my computer because I didn't want doubled up audio.
I get that, yeah.
But if they can't hear my TV audio anyway, the delay doesn't matter. I just mute my computer and listen to the TV. And now that I'm doing that, the Super Nintendo stuff renders fine. So it wasn't. I mean, maybe it's my computer doesn't like the Super Nintendo so much with that setup, but with my older Elgato setup, things are great. So I'm glad that's over.
Well, what I was getting at here is I would want to show the progression of Mario games. So that would be Mario, then Super Mario Brothers, and then I would have to do Lost Levels, and then Mario Brothers 2.
If I were you, I would say stream Lost Levels for like an hour, fail to beat World 1, and say you get the idea, and then move on to the next game because fuck that game.
So yeah, I was actually just going to get onto it. Like maybe I might do an archive of me playing Lost Levels of streaming it and then like editing it down. Just to have funny moments.
That's what I do
whatever.
even for a lot of games I Let's Play, like Dark Souls. Do you have any goddamn idea how much footage I cut in those recording sessions?
You do. Tons.
So yeah, like you don't want to see that shit. So like the same thing for Mario Lost Levels. Like show your first 1 or 2 failures and then cut to your successful attempt. Or if you're feeling a little saucy, take all of your failures and greatly increase the speed in post. And just watch all this shit and just put some background music over it, because otherwise you're just gonna hear like, and that's just awful.
Well, I was gonna make like a super cut of me going fuck.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. Yeah. That's gonna happen for sure. So that would probably be amusing as well. But like, yeah, like my style at this point is just showing the first 1 or 2 attempts and then just like, let's move on with our lives. Because like, I have had hour-long or hour-and-a-half-long recording sessions, and the actual Let's Play installment that goes up on YouTube is like 40 minutes.
Yeah, so in keeping with that, I would want to probably just do like all of the platformer Mario games, and then I would want to do Contra. Here's another one that is logistically complicated. How do I come up with an order for the Ys games? Because
okay.
And I'll tell you why.
Unless you want to play the same games twice, like OG Ys 1, then the re-release of Ys 1.
It's complicated because there are so many remakes, and the remakes and the original versions are different enough that like there are 4 different versions of 4 out there. 3 different versions of 4. I'm sorry. There's the PC Engine, the Vita. No, there are 4 of them. There's the PC Engine, the Super Nintendo, the PS2 one that never got a English release, and Salsetta, which is the new version. Now, they're all completely different games in terms of gameplay and story. They deviate wildly. So, like, which version of 4? I would assume Salsetta because it's the most recent game. But
stream which one is the most enjoyable to play, and then play all the rest, record it, and make a comparison video like Lotus did with Resident Evil.
Yeah, I can do that, but what order do I play these games in? Because keep in mind
that is.
Keep in mind, Salsetta, while it is a remake of the 4th game, is also the second to last game released. So it has all of the progression of and design progression of the company behind it.
Yeah,
So
well,
technically, it was released after Ys 7. Ys 7 was the game that was before that, and now Lacrimosa of Dana, which is technically 8, is the game after that. So do I play them in terms of when these remakes were made or timeline?
No, I would say what makes contextual sense. Like if what are any of the games actually sequels to the other?
All of only 1 and 2 are related in terms of actually like what happened in the last game matters and what happened in the second.
Because I would say if there are callbacks to previous games, that complicates things. Because a more I think relatable contemporary example might be, well, Ys is contemporary, but I guess I'll say another contemporary example would be Yakuza. Like if I wanted to play every single Yakuza game, would I do? I would not start at 0, but would I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, Kiwami? Like, do you want me to play 1 again? Shouldn't I just do Kiwami instead of 1? But the thing is, if I did that, Kiwami really, really assumes that you've already played Yakuza 1, so they already hype up Majima as a super cool character when you only saw him. You only saw him, I think, 3 times in the entire first game, and the first time was cutscene only. So after that, he kind of became a fan favorite, and they hyped him up a little bit more in 2. But if you start the entire Yakuza series with Kiwami, it's like Majima mode. Majima's everywhere.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Why? so like if Ys does something like that,
it does.
Then I don't know if you want to.
This is a tough series. So I put a little thought into this, and what you could do is start with the modern games. So the modern games start at Ark of Nepishtim, which is Ys 6.
Actually, I did have a thought, though. What you could do is you could just play the most recent iterations of each game in numerical order, but as you Let's Play, if there are weird references, then just explain them, because you're not playing the same game fucking 4 times.
Now, there is the same problem that you have with Yakuza 0. There's Ys Origin. So, Ys Origin is a prequel. So,
well, that's fine.
But I can't play the prequel first. So, what I would do, probably the thing that makes most sense is play the remakes of 1 and 2, then play Origin because it has callbacks.
Yes.
And then play Oath of Nagana, which is a remake of 3.
Yeah, like again, just explain everything. Like, if I wanted to play all the JoJo games, like, I would start... I mean, it's too late, I'm not Let's Playing them, but, like, I would start with, like, the weird Super Famicom game, which has a very different
story. It's like a
visual
novel.
Yeah, it has a very different story from 3 anyway. But then I play the PS2 game, which is Phantom Blood, which is, like, part 1 of JoJo. And then I play the other PS2 game, which is fucking part 5, and it's like, wait, what? And then like the PS2 game of part 5 has a really cool throwback because it's a Capcom game. I think when you do like this one Polnareff level, it plays like a cover of Polnareff's theme in the PS1 fighting game, and it's like, oh, so like there would be little weird things to mention about that, but like, there comes a point where you're just gonna have to get on with it because you're not. Like again, do you really want to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh wait, they remade 1. Oh, they remade 2. 3. Oh wait, they remade 1 again. Like, fuck, no, come on.
Also, when I play Mario Brothers, which version am I gonna play? And I actually have an answer for that. I'm gonna play their original versions, actually up until 3. So I actually think that the All-Star versions of 1 and 2 are not as I don't like them quite as much as Super Mario 1 and 2 on the NES because of physics reasons, and also I don't like their music quite as much. It's not as iconic. However, when Mario 3 got remade for Mario All-Stars, I think it actually improved it. So I think it sounds and looks like it should have looked.
Hey, here's a question. If you ever plan on doing the Double Dragons games, are you also going to do the Battletoads versus Double Dragon and then go into the Battletoads series?
Yeah, so that's a good question.
Because I honestly have this thing going on with my own Let's Plays, for real. Because, like, I've been Let's Playing the Resident Evil games very slowly. I know, I'm working on it. I really, really am. But I've been Let's Playing the Resident Evil games, right? So I did 1, 2, 3. I did Survivor, because, surprise, there's a fourth PS1 Resident Evil game. Then I did Code Veronica. And, like, I'm going to eventually get to Survivor 2. But before I get to Dead Aim, that's... Because there's a second series, right? There's the Gun Survivor series.
Yeah.
And Dead Aim is Gun Survivor 4. So Gun Survivor 3 is Dino Stalker, which means I would prefer to play Dino Crisis 1, which I've done, but then 2. Then I could do Dino Stalker, and then I could move back to the Resident Evil series. It's kind of like Jedi Knight. Like there's Star Wars Dark Forces, the Doom clone. Then there's Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2. The Dark Forces series is now over. Then there's Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast, Jedi Academy. So you got this weird crossover thing going on.
Sure. So I would answer that with I would play probably I would play Double Dragon 1, 2, and 3. Not that I would ever beat 3 because 3 is a piece of shit.
Neon and then 4?
No. Well, Neon is way later. Neon came out way later.
But what wasn't 4 like a more recent release? Like a retro style release?
Yeah, I would play Super Double Dragon before I would play any of those.
Okay, excuse me. Yeah.
But anyway,
the
and
Neo
then I
Geo
would
fighting game.
Yeah, I mean even
Of the movie?
and I would Revenge of the Dragons too.
that
which
was
is
the-
kind of a spin-off.
Was that the fighting game as well?
So Revenge of the Dragons was a game made by a developer in Mexico for the Neo Geo that kind of stole the license. It's not a real Double Dragon game, but it has Billy and Jimmy, but they're like knockoff versions of them.
Nice.
But they're all character.
Billy
It's
and
basically
Yeah. Bimmy and Jammy.
But the thing is, the game is really awesome. So like, it deserves to be a real game. It just has like has a stolen license essentially.
No, I know what you mean. Sometimes
Yeah.
there are games that people kind of consider part of the series, even though they're really not, because it's like, let them have it.
Well, also like Double Dragon's been remade like a billion times. So like, so you have like the arcade game, which is completely different than the NES game, and it's also completely different from the like Game Boy game, and there's Double Dragon Advance, which is kind of a remake of that, and you could also see Super Double Dragon as a remake of all that as well.
Oh, man.
So, because Super Double Dragon was kind of billed as Double Dragon 4, but it really wasn't. It was kind of like a remake of Double Dragon 1.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Super Castlevania 4 isn't really Castlevania 4 in Japan. It's just called Akumajo Dracula, which is just Castlevania. So it's basically like a remake of the original Castlevania.
Yeah. And then in America, there's Castlevania on the 64, which is not even a remake. It's just called Castlevania because stupid.
Yeah, it should have just been called Castlevania 64. I don't know why they didn't call
And
it
everyone
that.
calls it that. Like,
Yeah.
that's the one N64 game that doesn't have a 64 at the end of it, and it should have.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, this is the kind of things that go through my head when I'm like, oh, what should I do and where should I start? You know?
Yeah. With Ease, it's just like, Ease is one of those series where I really would say fuck it and just pick the version of choice of each number of the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, like the remakes are gonna be all out of order in terms of when they were made, but fuck it, who cares?
Yeah.
So because like otherwise I'd have to do Ark of Nepishtim. Is where the modern games start, and then Ys Origin was made, and then no, it was Ark of Nepishtim, and then Oath and Felghana, and then Origin, and then like the remake of 1 and 2, which doesn't make any sense. You know, it's like none of this makes any sense. Let's just do it in the order that they were made, or in the chronology, and then explain it, except for Origin, which I could play after 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because it has a character from 1 and 2 in it. But you get to see how he becomes the bad guy. So, anyway. How about you, Lotus? I mean, I know that...
Would be difficult for me to deal with, or that I wouldn't want to deal with.
Yeah,
Well,
but you would want... You kind of have an interest in doing it, but
yeah.
it would be difficult.
Well, I can think of a few examples. I've actually had a lot of people ask me if I would let, because every once in a while when I'm playing a new Yakuza game, I upload clips because I think they're pretty cool. And like every single time, people are like, "Are you gonna let's play this game?" But No, man. Like, with Yakuza, I try doing everything I can to unlock the Amon fight, and that is a lot of requirements. Like, it's just gonna take fucking forever for me to go through every
Like an
single side
RPG.
quest.
It's like an
almost
RPG
is.
in
Like,
a lot.
yeah,
in a
like
lot
you
of ways.
don't even understand how grindy Yakuza can get if you allow it to. So I wouldn't even want to as much as I love Yakuza, I wouldn't even want to let's play them because it would take way longer than you think it would. But then, as far as technical issues, I've actually gotten a question about this. Someone asked me if I would let's play the Neverhood. I would actually really like to, but it doesn't work on Windows 10, so that's just kind of a no-go unless somebody develops a patch for it.
I got a way you could do it.
Yeah? What, like a virtual machine?
No. They released it in Japan on the PS1, and there's no language in the game.
Oh, shit. Okay, that might actually be possible then.
Yeah, you could play the Japanese PS1 version, and there's no English or anything in the game.
Interesting.
The entirety of the game's story is told towards the end of the game on like a mural in the back on the back
but it's
on
still
the wall
like
in the back. But it's pictorial, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so
Alright.
you could play that.
So that might be possible then. All right. Well, another thing, and again, there is a workaround for this. I just haven't even tried implementing it yet. But Deus Ex Invisible War, like Deus Ex 2. The problem with that was that whenever I would leave an area, you know how in the original Deus Ex there's a little bit where it says loading, and like in Human Revolution you go to you fade out to a loading screen or whatever. On PC, for some stupid reason, on Deus Ex Invisible War, your monitor refreshes every time you load a new area, so that kills my recording. So like I can let's play it, but that's such a bitch. Like I have to restart recording every time. Now number one, there's a patch for that. Number two, I know there's a version on the Xbox. Maybe the Xbox version will be more forgiving, but I just haven't dealt with it yet.
Yeah, I was going to say that the original Xbox, that game was made to be cross-platform.
Yeah.
So there's actually no differences between the two versions of the game. So
yeah. So
playing
I know
the
that there
Xbox
are-
version wouldn't be a bad thing.
Yeah, again, I know there are workarounds. I just haven't tried them. But that like I actually did try let's playing it on PC at first, and it just like that's way more effort than is worth it. Well now with some games I've actually turned around my decisions on them before. I had originally said I wouldn't let's play Parasite Eve because it's way too long, it's an RPG, but then I did. It's actually not a very long RPG. There's Rule of Rose. I said I would not let's play that because it's such a pain in the ass to play, but I finally let's played it, and it still was kind of a pain in the ass to play,
yeah.
But like I got
You
through
did it
better
for
than I thought I would.
humanity. You did it for science.
Yeah, the world must know. But otherwise, like it's a little difficult to think of games that I'm interested in but wouldn't want to let's play. Like again, like maybe like EDF. Those games are fun as shit, but like how
That's a
long
stream.
does it take to advance the game? Like it's you have to play the old levels over and over again to grind your health so you go up to get new weapons. So like again, it's fun to show off for it really is more of a stream game. Like here, let's just mess around with EDF for a little while. I streamed the PS4 game once, and people were super into it, especially because EDF is like just fringe enough that a lot of people don't know what it is. So it's hilarious when you see it for the first time.
Well, that would be also a really good co-op stream as well. Like, have like the two of us playing like the multiplayer version of it. You know what I mean?
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Yeah, I don't know if it does PS Plus, if it requires PS Plus, but it does do split screen. That is a possibility anyway.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I think for our audience to that's a good one just to watch us like react.
Yeah, they have just such intentionally stupid fucking lines because it's like a bad B movie.
EDF.
No, in the new one, in the PS4 game, you can actually have as voice commands like the EDF song, and you can get other soldiers to sing along with it. It's really funny. But one of my favorite lines in the game was just in the plot. There's this new class of character you can play as once you unlock them called the Winged Divers, and they have super high attack output, and they can fly for temporary periods of time, but they have low health. So the idea is you kind of want to stay in the air away from everything and just dive bomb, or not dive bomb, just fire down up from above. But when like they keep hyping up the winged divers for the first couple levels in the story, and at one point somebody says the winged divers are natural enemies of giant insects, and I'm like, what a stupid fucking lie! That doesn't even make sense. And I love that line to death because it's like, how are they natural enemies? Like you made technology for these people to wear so they could fly and fight insects. How are they natural enemies? It's a character class. It's like such a stupid line that it's like stuck in my head. It's so funny.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That series like is such a mystery to me because like there are so many games in the series now. There didn't used to be that many, but now there are a lot. I don't know which ones are which and which ones are good and which ones aren't.
The only one I've heard people didn't really care for was the PS3 Insect
Armageddon
because it played everything straight. And a lot of the reason to love EDF, like the game is still very competent, but a lot of the reason to love EDF is its stupid self-aware B-movie bullshit, where like with cheesy lines and like silly music, and like apparently Insect Armageddon was like, you know, we're under attack, we gotta stop. It was like Bomberman Zero. It's like we didn't need an edge for this.
Yeah.
Although, speaking of which, actually, one Vita game I regret not picking up, I'll have to look for it at some point, is the EDF Vita game, because that was the Japanese-only PS2 game we never got, but we did, finally, on the Vita a few years ago, which is kind of cool.
Oh, is that like a remake of the original?
I don't know if it's original. I think there might have been even older games than that, but that was a Japanese-only game up until very recently, so it's kind of cool that we got that.
Yeah, so there was... okay, so this was Earth Defense Force 2 was put on the Vita.
Yeah, it was called like 2 point something, I think, like whatever it was. Just like the PS4 was like 4.1, like whatever.
Now that game was released in Europe. I don't know if you knew that in English as Global Defense Earth or Global Defense Force. Yeah.
Okay.
So you could play it on PS2, but I'm sure the Vita version has some quality of life improvements. Just
not to mention version. I don't need to jump through hoops to play it either.
Yeah, exactly. But those are some cool. Those are some cool thoughts there.
Yeah, like again, they're fun to show off for a little while, but like beat the game. Like I don't know about that.
Like go through the whole thing. Watch me play. Watch me play Bejeweled over and over again until I beat it.
That's the thing. Like I can do it, but no. Actually, a better example would be like Puzzle Fighter, or not Puzzle Fighter, not Puzzle Fighter. Puzzle Quest.
Puzzle Quest, yeah.
Like because our friend Luminaire actually did Let's Play Puzzle Quest 2, which I do find really enjoyable. But that's like he has more patience. Like I mean, you know how patient I can be, but I'm very patient about certain kinds of things. And some things I'm really not patient for, and I would not be patient enough to do Puzzle Quest 2, like, on camera, because I would get tired of, what am I going to say for commentary? The same, it's like, even when we did Golden Axe, that worked because the game's, like, 25 minutes long. I mean, after level 1 and 2, what are you going to say?
Exactly.
Like, I knocked down more enemies, I don't fucking know, like... You kind of run out of steam after a while. Like, Luminaire managed to pull it off. I don't know how the hell he did it, but, like, I would lose commentary after a few Puzzle Quest 2 episodes. But, like, so that would be the kind of game where I'd be happy to play it. Like, there are certain kinds of grindy games that I'm happy to play on my own. Like, any of the Warriors games.
Yeah.
You know, I love doing that, but, like, I can't Let's Play that. Like, what if I show you the same level again? And some people have asked me to Let's Play Berserk, and I just straight up can't do that because this pissed me off. They went lazy with this one, even though it's still like one of the best Warriors games there is. The cutscenes that the animated movies cover are clips from the animated movie. That's so fucking disappointing. I really wanted to see.
Come on.
Yeah, I really wanted to say
CG versions of them.
I really wanted to say in-game versions of them. So whenever I would fight someone that the anime did not cover, like Weald, then I got super hyped because they had no choice but to show you the way that I'd hoped that they would show us everything anyway. So that was cool as shit to see. But like when the eclipse happened, it's just like a giant clip from the movie. So not only is that not the game anymore, but I'd get copyright strikes out the ass.
Yeah, that is a shame. That is a bummer. So
Like-
that's another one.
And
I would
the
say,
only
yeah.
way I'd be able to get away with it is if I were loudly talking over it constantly to drown out the audio. But then you're missing the fucking movie. Like that was like with Zone of the Enders. They have a really gorgeous, like 5-minute long opening animation on the HD collection from Sunrise, the animation studio. It looks freaking great, and it captures moments from both games, and it shows things that are actually reflective of gameplay. And I was actually able to get away with that clip, but like I had to contest it and wait for like weeks. So I just uploaded the version without the movie first.
It may have been a part of the anime as well. Do you know?
Did the anime cover both games?
I don't know. I
No.
never saw the Zone of the Enders anime.
I
seen
don't think it
both.
was. I'm
I've seen
pretty. Yeah, like I'm pretty sure. I would have to check again, but I think the back of the box said that this was a custom animation for the HD collection because it covers both games. So when Zone of the Enders 2 comes out on PS4 and Steam, I do not think you're going to see that movie. Like,
Gotcha.
so it's like this weird esoteric movie that's like, I hope you have the PS3 or 360 version of the HD collection.
You know what we should do is one of these days we should do like the VR, do a capture of the VR setup, because there's a VR version of Zone of the Enders
too.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
So maybe we
fascinating
could
to
do
see.
like a co-op where we're both in the room and playing the VR version.
Yeah.
Also, we could do the Danganronpa VR thing.
Is
as
that
well.
actually out yet?
Yeah, no, it's out in English and it's out on the PS1, US PlayStation Store.
That's rad. All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would like to look into that as well. Or like Super Hot or something, because I think I
Yeah.
mentioned this.
The super hot version is great because I seen someone like do a trick shot, so like they know where they're going to land in the next scene, and they
Yep.
throw their own gun there.
Yeah, it's so good. I was able to like there's a mall that's like 25 minutes from me that has like a sort of like flash in the pan store that's probably not going to be around in 10 years, but it's basically it's an arcade except that it's a bunch of VR setups, and
That's awesome.
you just like pay by the hour. So like I just went in for an hour and I tried Super Hot VR. I've never
game's
actually
awesome.
I've never actually played a VR game before. And I didn't realize like just how immersive it is. It actually feels convincing. So it was super fun doing stuff like, oh no, the bullet's coming, but there's also bullets on the left and right of me. I can't move to the side of this. So I actually did like the Neo bend over backward dodge, and it actually worked because it's like full 360 like spherical degrees. It was freaking sweet, man.
Were
That
you
game was
playing that with a Vive, an Oculus, or a PSVR?
I do not think it was a PS, but I don't remember if it was an Oculus or a Vive.
It was
excuse
probably
me.
an Oculus or Vive, if I had
Yeah,
to
it
guess.
probably was, but I don't remember which one it was. But it was pretty cool though, because you just go to a catalog and they'll like pick a game and they just set you up, and you could switch to other games at any point. But I stuck with Super High and I lost track of time.
That game's awesome.
If I were
Do
really
they,
keeping,
do they
yeah?
have corn?
Do they have what? Oh, I don't know. I just went straight to Super High.
Okay. Gorn is the best VR game I've seen so far.
They did not have Dead or Alive Extreme 3 Sexual Harassment Simulator. Can you imagine if they had that at the mall where people could walk by and just see the screen? It's like, could you stop being a fucking creep in front of my children?
Could you stop bringing your children to this creep hole?
Yeah, it's just like... it was just like funny. Like I was with Mr. Ryu. I'm like, where's Dead or Alive Extreme 3? That'd been the funniest fucking thing if they actually had that. It's like, you don't want this.
Or that game where you like have that relationship with as a tutor for that girl. Like it's like a VR game where you're like in the girl's apartment, like trying to help her study, but it's basically just a sexual harassment simulator.
Well, actually,
Yeah.
isn't one of the new Gal Guns like VR supported? And it's like,
Yep.
Oh god,
It is.
like
It's Galgun VR. There's a
Oh,
Galgun VR.
There you go. I play that game in front of everybody. There's a game I super want 100%, but I can't stream because I don't want to be a freaking convicted of freaking creepy everything. I guess it's going to be convicted of.
Blue dot.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I've always wanted to Let's Play the Guy game, but then I realized it's literally illegal for me to have it, and even if it weren't, I'd be a fucking creep.
That's a game you don't want in your collection.
No, like
Let's put it that
literally, I remember. I don't think it's universal because I remember Guru Larry had a bit on this where he specified like according to American law. But yeah, that's child porn by American standards because like a girl shows her breasts and it turned out they realized later she was like 16 or 17 at the time, so technically it's child porn. So like it's I don't know who's gonna know about it and chase you down over it, but technically it's illegal to sell it and to buy it and to have it. So
They still sell it at video game conventions.
I saw somebody had it at too many games. I was like, I don't know, man.
Oh god.
Yeah. So like again, if you're in other countries, you could probably buy it. Although again, I don't know why you'd want to. But in America, I mean, I guess nothing was stopping me from buying it. But technically, it's illegal, and also I don't fucking want it.
Yeah.
I can't wait till I mod my Xbox and somebody loads the game the hard drive with all the games, and I'm like, actually, could you delete the one highly illegal game, please?
Well, it's funny you should say that. There is a pack going around there of all of the TurboGrafx 16 CD games released in the U.S. Two of them are erotica games, they're basically just slideshows of naked girls from Hawaii, and
oh, they're like real people.
Oh yeah. No, they're like
geez.
it's like reading a Playboy, but like
Okay,
like,
because I know there's a lot of H games, and it's like, they're cartoons.
No.
But
No. This is actual pornography.
Oh,
basically.
wow.
It's softcore, but I deleted it immediately out of my complete set
No
because
shit,
I don't
yeah.
want that. Yeah, I don't want that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you'll
That's
never
what
be
the
able to
internet
100%
is
every
for.
game. What was it?
That is what the internet is for.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want somebody like sifting through like my games, and going.
Well,
like,
that's
hey,
the thing. Yeah, you eventually have a friend over. Did you know I have a complete PC Engine collection? Oh yeah, and you're scrolling down the list, and you're like, wait, what's this? And you're like, I fucking forgot I had that.
Well, there's also like complete ROM sets of like SNES stuff where they even have like apocryphal stuff, like where people like made like things like Hong Kong 97 and things like that
stuff, yeah.
and it's stuff that was made on like discs and sold on pirate devices and stuff, and some of them are like clips of actual people being killed on like security cameras and stuff like that. Like, I don't want that shit on my on my SNES. Like, get that shit out of here. Like, I don't need like I don't need like the internet's terrible places to be on my Super
on your
Nintendo.
like your child's system.
Yeah, I'm good. I just want to play Mario and Castlevania. I don't need this shit.
Yeah,
but
and
like
weird esoteric Road Avenger.
I mean, like, people include that for completion's sake. I can understand it from a philosophy perspective, but
pass.
I'm good, man. There's a line for me,
but I have standards. Yeah,
there's a line for me, and that's the line. I also don't want like ROM hacks like that are offensive. Like, I don't want like I want ROM hacks that maybe make a game better or take the game in a different direction. But I don't want an offensive ROM hack. Like from the early emulation days. I don't want that shit on there. Like, I don't want that in there.
Yeah, where people were throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Well, no, people were just thought they were being funny. People thought they were being funny back then, but a lot of it wasn't even funny back then to me.
Reasons.
What was it?
Like, the wall was already sticky for the aforementioned reasons.
Oh,
yeah,
exactly.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I guess this would be a good time to ask Dracologist of, is there anything that you would like to Let's Play one of these days? Well, I know you're not very much a Let's Player.
I would like to learn how to stream for the starters, and I would like to have a proper video editing software that I can actually know how to use. But,
yeah, I mean, for streaming, you could use probably OBS, which is free.
Yes, but I don't like the person who actually would help me on how to use the OBS streaming system is generally busy.
Okay.
Moving about from the technical stuff, I do have an entire plethora of games that like I got because I liked how it looks, but playing them would be a little bit iffy. Like, the Ice Pick Lodge game, The Void, also known as Turgor, which is a magnificent game. It probably would work very well with us streaming, but it would probably make me like, like I should have planned for 5 steps ahead, and I didn't.
Mm.
That type of it's kind of that type. This like that type. Yeah, type of game.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
Yeah,
like-
I figured you had even more like things holding you back than me in terms of just like having the technical set up for it and all that.
Also, probably going to need an upgrade on the old rig as well.
Yeah.
For some better games. Like I could stream DOS games all I want because I have a light platter on DOS games and I have a functioning DOS box. So I'm fairly
Yeah.
sure that if you can link together to OBS to watch DOS box, I could stream I would stream Tyrian, I would stream Code Bitmap Brother games.
Yeah, and you can get OBS to focus on DOSBox. That's how I'm doing God of Thunder.
Oh yeah, fun times.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you get God of Thunder from Steam because they released it for free on there?
I didn't know it was free. Actually, when I recorded God of Thunder, it wasn't yet on Steam, so I got it from like archive.org. But
okay.
Yeah, but no, like definitely get that on Steam. It's a great nostalgic game.
It's free. You can download it right away and it works.
Yeah, just
really
like
nice.
Biomenace.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Speaking of which, I also got that game for some reason.
Yeah.
I love Biomenace.
Yeah, it's an interesting little platform from Apogee. It's like, did you notice, by the way, how gruesome some of the Apogee games were?
Absolutely.
Even level 1 of Biomenace, there's just like bloody dead bodies like everywhere. Like what happened
Skeletons.
before I got here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Apogee games were very bloody. Like even like something like Monster Bash and Rise of the Triad. Like Rise of the Triad was well known about like shooting people with rocket launchers and seeing their body parts flying all over the place.
Yup.
And the intro of Monster Bash is like when you like this little kid shoots a zombie in the face with a slingshot and like there's this big splatter of blood and like blood oozes down to cover the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And this was Boppin, if you believe it or not. Another game I would like to see games done quick because I'm a monster. Like oh boy, if you know that game and you've seen all the most of the levels, especially the nastier levels, you would know why I'm fun to see the games done quick.
Yeah, I usually don't see the games done quick guys do DOS stuff. Like the only thing I can remember like clearly is maybe like Duke Nukem 2.
Yeah.
The guy wrecked that game, by the way.
I do want to see Helios. Boppin would be just a joke because that game is cruel. Like it started off by a very straightforward puzzle game and it continues with it, but there are some levels where are straight up just being a bastard.
Oh, by the way, I forgot if it was Duke Nukem 1 or Duke Nukem 2. It might have been 2, but it was something like, Duke Nukem, there are bad guys attacking the planet, and he's like, all right, like I'll kick their butts and I'll be back in time for Oprah. And it's like, oh god. Like okay.
I probably too because in Duke Nukem 1 he was just starting up being a personality.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
There was not. Story was full way through the text dumps.
The first game was really kind of like a sequel to Biomenace almost. Like it was very similar.
Yeah, and the bad guy was like Dr. Proton, which I think Duke Nukem Forever actually references at some point, which is kind of great. Dr. Proton,
awesome.
Like all right, and he was the boss of all 3 games. Like you beat him and he flies away until you finally take him down in episode 3.
I think I played all 3 of the Duke Nukem games. I actually played all 3 of Biomenace games, like episodes, not games.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because back then they were separated.
Same with God of Thunder. God of Thunder was in 3 episodes.
It was a shareware game. Yep.
Yeah, but because back then they basically cut the game up in 3 pieces.
Yep. And Wolfenstein did that too. Well, not shareware really, but Wolfenstein had like 6 episodes.
Oh sure.
Yeah.
So if you didn't have any other things that you wanted to go over, both of you, I would like to move on here, of course, to other segments.
Yes.
So, of course, I'm going to go over my weigh-in. So I actually have stayed very stable, 255. Now, stability is a good thing. Of course, I want to start losing weight. So the good thing is I changed my jobs and I have a lot more free time. So I'm definitely gonna go to the gym this week. I have the whole
Nice.
week off because I have a week off in between both jobs, and I'm going to have most of my nights free. I'm gonna work 9 to 5 every day, and my commute is basically half of my old commute. So I'm gonna have a lot more free time.
Yeah, that's
than I used
excellent.
to. So I'm excited for that. So I think I'm gonna do some weightlifting and a little bit of jogging on the treadmill and get going here. So I would like to move on to fan reactions as well.
Yeah, so for fan reactions, I only saw one. This was regarding like unsatisfying endings. Do they ruin the media that they end? General Ledger responded, "The worst endings for me are the open endings that lack setup for deep thought or discussion afterwards. We can discuss what we would do and take with us if we were in George's place in the time machine, but Chrono Cross gave nothing." So, yeah, I mean, I can kind of get behind that. I don't remember Chrono Cross's ending, but yeah, if it's like, what's going to happen next, but there's nothing for you to really talk about, it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. Then it's like, yeah.
Well, I really want to know what happened at the end of Super Mario Brothers the movie. Like what?
Oh,
what
the
was
clip,
going on?
yeah, the sequel bait.
The cliffhanger.
No, actually, no. That is one thing I really do hate, though, when they end with a cliffhanger because they assume that the movie's gonna be so good or the game's gonna be so good that they make another one, but then it's not, and they don't, and you just have a non-ending. That's really annoying.
Yeah.
Alright, so as for fan questions, Fakafon asks, can you envision what race or creature your friends would be in a fantasy setting? Like, I have a lot of difficulty with that. Like, I don't know. Are you a fucking dwarf, an elf? Like, I just think human.
Oh, you're
every
definitely
time.
an elf. You're definitely an elf.
I would
Okay.
talk a halfling.
If you say so. Yeah.
No, I just imagine you as actually you're in my head canon you're very similar to a character in the in the Discworld series.
I gotta read that.
The insurance adjuster from the first book that follows Rincewind around. I forget his name, but I always kind of thought you'd be a good stand-in for him because of the way how analytical he is and how literal he is with a lot of things.
Nice.
So yeah, it's pretty funny.
I would think I would go with D&D, Dragonlance, and Alanorian Chronicles Gnome. Lotus would be like those like constantly very methodical, scientific.
Yeah.
Maybe I would be a Durger with an insatiable hunger for gems.
Now,
You have to grow a magnificent bird for that.
Ooh, that's true.
I'm wondering whether I would be some kind of dwarf or a hobbit or something of that nature.
Maybe you could also be a Durger if you're cursed on Columbus Day.
Well, I do have a beard, so I would fit in with the dwarves.
I said
I'm
magnificent beard, not
Yeah.
not just a beard.
stout.
A great big bushy beard.
Yes.
I might be a dwarf. I'm not that short, but I'm also not that tall either. I'm kind of in the middle. So,
And my axe.
but
orc.
I can see myself being a dwarf if I were exaggerated, I guess.
Orc.
Orc.
What is it?
Meat's back on the menu, boys. Oh, wait, were you doing like Warcraft Orc?
Warcraft 2, yeah.
Warhammer Orc. Those are nice teeth got you there, boss.
I've got a flying machine.
Oh, wow.
That- that was the gnome.
Yeah.
That's right. It was the gnomes, wasn't it, with the flying machines?
Yeah, it was awesome. How about yourself, Dracologist? I don't know what you look like, so I can't throw you into.
I guess you'd be a dragon.
We would
Yeah.
no. I would be cool, but no.
Oh.
I look like a little bit like Weiss, but I have more curlier hair. If
Okay.
you want to do.
Okay, you can join us. You can join me in the mines.
Yeah, pretty much was like when I played like tabletops, I played dwarves. So
I like playing as dwarves in a lot of other games too. Like I'm usually kind of like a berserker kind of character.
but
I'd probably be a
That's a-
human or an elf, like Thief.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Like I people said to what I would look like, not what I think of myself. So Like I know that one of my friends would be, probably would be a sort of an ornithomorph, human ornithomorph.
Mm.
Um, Again, I don't know myself. I do not know for myself what I would be.
It's okay. I think we covered it.
Probably,
Um,
probably something sneaky. Is it? I'm not so sure sneaky. Something that hides good in the shadows and is terrifying.
Okay.
Maybe you could be the big spider that they fight in Lord of the Rings Fellowship.
Shelob.
Yeah,
I'm
Shelob.
not.
Well, that
I'm
wasn't
not
Fellow.
only,
That was Return of the King in the movies, and that was the Two Towers in the books.
Oh, okay.
I'm not exactly a female spider, so.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All
Gen-
right.
gen-
Well,
Gender adjustment surgery is not yet in my project in the plans.
Also, like 4 additional limb surgery.
Well, that would be given as being a spider, but no.
Yeah.
maybe we can inject him with spider blood,
Radioactive spider blood.
I don't know,
Yes.
some sort of shadow demon. That would be fun.
Ah, okay.
That
Just
does
grab someone through a shadow and pull them into your own realm.
So you would be either Man in the Mirror or Black Sabbath from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Something I don't know, something that looks like a xenomorph.
It looks like a
Nice.
xenomorph. Okay.
Oh man. Well, I want to hear fan reactions to this one. So, that would be the show for this week. Please remember to subscribe to the Corrective Consciousness YouTube and SoundCloud pages. We want to thank you for all that contributed questions this week. Please keep us supplied with awesome topics by submitting questions of your own to the YouTube and SoundCloud pages. And while there, please drop us a line and react to this question as well, because I would love to hear what people said and why. Please help promote and spread awareness of the show, and any bit of encouragement helps keep the show going. You can catch us on Tuesday on our sister podcast, Reactive Consciousness, the in-depth look at this week in our lives. Finally, you can friend me as vysethebold on Steam, PSN, Xbox Live, Twitter, Switch, and Battle.net.
And you can follow me on my YouTube channel, Lotus Prince. You can hit me up on Twitter at Lotus Prince. And finally, if you're interested in seeing my videos early, getting in on exclusive live streams, or even selecting upcoming games to Let's Play, then perhaps consider swinging by my Patreon account, where you can also get in on a Discord with other patrons at patreon.com/Lotus Prince.
And you can find me on Skype, Steam, and once this blood truck goes away, you can find me on the Lord Crocus Girls lair on Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great. All right, everybody, we'll catch you on Tuesday for Recon.
Until next time, everyone.
Good evening.